Hey yo, so I was watching Holes and God placed 2 cents in. So I gotta share with you. Alright, so there's a few things I got from it, but I have notes. So God's will sometimes places you in places where you are accused, misunderstood, sometimes enduring long suffering, but you're always in alignment, right? He is sovereign and will make sure you are in the right place at the right time. Had Stanley not been sent to camp, he wouldn't have met Hector, excuse me. He would not have broken the curse off of his bloodline, met his destiny helper, Hector, received his inheritance that literally and spiritually had his name on it. An example of you receiving a stored up generational inheritance that the one before you couldn't or wouldn't claim. There's a very real thing. Using everything for your good. Romans 8:28 was all through this movie. God also will raise up a willing servant to do his will, free you and your bloodline, and restore you better than before with abundance and overflow. So that came from pretty much them reiterating that the great no good grandfather, whatever, did whatever he did, went to go see a psychic, dabbled in witchcraft, and he didn't finish the instruction, which I feel like made it worse. But he also did what he did and essentially placed a curse on his bloodline. So they were correct. They most likely were cursed. But he didn't fix it. He didn't lift it off of his bloodline. He died with that curse still within, and working the way it did. And they were like, oh, it's bad luck and all this good stuff, but we don't believe in luck. But yeah, and here comes Stanley, 3 or 4 generations down. Was he the third? Yeah, 3 generations down the line, not even knowing, being obedient and showing up for his neighbor, right? Essentially walking in obedience, being in the right place at the wrong time, ended up breaking the curse off the family line, getting his inheritance, more than what he came for, and it spilled over to Hector as well. Knowing that Hector's great-great-grandmother was the very psychic that Stanley's great-great-grandfather went to go see, he was restored as well. The living water at the top of God's thumb that sustained them at the peak and the most exhausting part of their journey, right before the breakthrough, the hardest part, where they almost died a few times, both of them. And also, I think another lesson is that God is bigger than any curse, any label that the world or your family may be trying to place on you. Your mistakes, accusations, let God fight for you. Exodus 14:14, okay? Also, judgment. When Linda said it hadn't rained there since the day that they got Sam in the boat in Green Lake, Old Green Lake, that land was desolate from judgment. As soon as the curse was broken, the sky fell out. Like, come on, y'all saw the movie. Also, the yellow spotted lizards not harming Hector and Stanley when they initially found the trunk in the dirt. They sat in there all night, and it instantly reminded me of Daniel in the Lion's Den, and what else did they put? The 4th man in the fire, 3 Hebrew boys. That was favor, protection. No weapon formed against you, like God's children shall prosper. But also, I think it's important to also realize that they came out unbound, unscathed, unburned, not looking or smelling exactly like what they went through. Testimony was necessary. And as far as the warden, God gave me some questions. What battles are you in that aren't yours? What battles belong to the ones before you that are wearing you out, and you weren't graced to fight? And that also reminds me of Deuteronomy 28:15 through 24, the curses for disobedience. As far as the warden, it's an ongoing meme, a joke between me and my friends. But when she was telling her grandpa that she was tired of digging, I genuinely don't think that Kiss and Kate's Barlow treasure, whatever they were looking for, had anything to do with her. She didn't have a real desire for her. She was only out there doing that because her grandfather had agreed, and a desire to find something that didn't belong to him. And that trauma, that curse, essentially, that mindset trickled down to her, and it looks like she devoted her whole life also chasing something that she wasn't graced for, chasing something that wasn't hers, that she didn't have any business going after. Nonetheless, placing all these boys in this camp, trying to dig holes in a desolate lake. But again, another example of how God will turn what your enemies set up for your good. Don't play with the Lord, okay? Get in your Bible. Bye.